Session 4, Miracle of Your Mind. At birth, all creatures are supplied with everything they need for successful survival. All creatures except one are supplied with a set of instincts that will do the job for them, and because of that, they don't need much of a brain. Take the magnificent bald eagle, for example. My body and I saw dozens of bald eagles on a recent fishing trip to Alaska. To see one of them come swooping down and pluck a live and sizable fish from the water on a single pass is astonishing. More astonishing still is the eagle's eyesight. And because of its need to see from a high altitude small rodents moving in the grass or a fish just inches under the surface of the water, its incredible eyes take up just about all the space in its head. For the eagle, its eyes are the most important thing, and everything else works in unison with them. Its brain is tiny and rudimentary. It doesn't think or plan or remember. It simply acts in accordance with stimuli. It's the same with most other living creatures. Even the beautiful porpoise, which was much larger than the chimpanzee, are easily tamed and taught. Only one creature takes 20 years to mature, has dominion over all the rest and the earth itself, and has today the power to destroy all life on earth in a couple of hours. Only one creature is given the godlike power to fashion its own life according to the images it holds in its remarkable mind. Everything fashioned by human beings is a result of goal setting. We reach our goals. That's how we know that the diseases that plague us will be conquered. We have set goals to eradicate all diseases that plague us, and eradicate them we will one by one. We have never set a goal that we have not reached, even landing on the moon, or what we are not now in the process of reaching, Mars, through the civilian space travel. No one has ever made a purposeful accomplishment without a clear goal toward which to work, and I hope you've established yours and that you've begun to think about it frequently every day to impress it into your mind, particularly in your remarkable subconscious, where forces greater than we can imagine can come to your aid. For a moment, consider the things your mind has brought you, everything you have, your work, personal relationships with your family and others, your philosophy of life, your religion has come to you as a result of your using your mind. Now consider this estimate made by experts. You have probably been operating on less than 10% of your mental capacity, and probably much less than that. In an article by the Saturday Review, our old friend Herbert Otto, psychologist, educator, and chairman of the National Center for the Exploration of Human Potential, reminded us that many well-known scientists such as Abraham Maslow, Margaret Mead, Gardner Murphy, O. Spurgeon English, and Carl Rogers subscribe to the hypothesis that man is using a very small fraction of his capacities. Margaret Mead quoted a 6% figure. Herbert Otto wrote, "My own estimate is 5% or less." Neurological research has shed new light on man's potential. The work at UCLA Brain Research Institute points to enormous abilities latent in everyone. Researchers there suggest an incredible hypothesis that the ultimate creative capacity of the human brain may be, for all practical purposes, infinite. To use the computer analogy, man is a vast storehouse of data, but we have not learned how to program ourselves to utilize this data for problem-solving purposes. The following appeared in Soviet Live Today, a Russian English language magazine, says, "The latest findings in anthropology, psychology, logic, and physiology show that the potential of the human mind is very great indeed. As soon as modern science gave us some understanding of the structure and work of the human brain, we were struck with its enormous reserve capacity." That was written by Yefremov, an eminent Soviet scholar and writer. He continued saying, "Man, under average conditions of work and life, uses only a small part of his thinking and equipment. If we were able to force our brain to work at only half its capacity, we could, without any difficulty whatsoever, learn 40 languages, memorize the largest Soviet encyclopedia from cover to cover, and complete required courses of dozens of colleges. Now, that statement is hardly an exaggeration. It is a generally accepted theoretical view of man's mental potentials. Now, how can we tap this gigantic potential? It's a big and very complex problem with many ramifications. But as Herbert Otto pointed out, it is clear that persons who live close to their capacity, who continue to activate their potential, have a pronounced sense of well being and considerable energy. They see themselves as leading purposeful and creative lives. The way that most people use their minds can be compared to the time back in the early 19th century when just the eastern coast of the North American continent was settled, just a strip along the east coast. To the west stretched the raw, undeveloped, great bulk of what was later to become the incredibly rich 90% of the economy. 90% of the natural resources, which resulted in the standard of living enjoyed today by Americans. If everything you have is the result of you using just 5 or 10% of your mind, consider for a moment what it will mean to you and your family if you can increase this percentage. This program will show you how to use infinitely more of your mental powers, how to develop some of the 90% virgin territory.